So what do you say to the idea of removing the keywords that don't generate sales in terms of what is a good time frame to allow to make that conclusion?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So, at what point do you archive a keyword or negate a keyword? I personally am only going to run into two scenarios where I'm archiving or negating a keyword. Number one is going to be the keyword simply just not relevant. It snuck in there somehow. I'm selling tennis rackets, and this is a keyword for tennis shoes, and it's just not what I am selling, not what I'm promoting, and has no sales history. We're going to negate that. But if there is a keyword that like at one point it converted or it's gotten a couple of sales here and there, but it's averaging a 1% conversion rate compared to like our 10% average for the account, I would still, a lot of people just say if the conversion rate's really low, I'm going to archive it. I'm not as big of a believer in that. I am more in favor of just optimizing that bid because you can always optimize a bid down to like as low as 2 cents and perhaps still get some visibility. I mean, you might not, but I have had a lot of scenarios. In fact, I've got one account right now where they have a lot of super upper funnel keywords that are all really low. We're talking 0.5% conversion rate, 1% conversion rate that are all really low data. You know, they only get like, a few clicks, and cumulatively these campaigns have just an abysmal conversion rate. But the bids on all of them are like 2, 4, 5 cents, like really cheap clicks. And cumulatively, they're actually profitable for us. Cumulatively, we're driving, a couple $1,000s in sales within our target ACOS. And someone else would have, any other, or not any other, most people, if they're seeing these keywords with low data, they're going to go through and archive them because it could be the scenario where, when they, at the time they looked at it, the ACOS was really high. And they just saw high ACOS, low conversion rate, rather than thinking, I can optimize this bid and get fewer sales, albeit profitably, they decided to just negate and lose all those sales altogether. So that's how I handle those scenarios. If there is a keyword that hasn't gotten any sales at all whatsoever, and it has a lot of clicks, let's just say 100 clicks and no sales, I would look at the keyword like, is it a relevant keyword? If it's not relevant, of course, negate it or archive it. If it is a relevant keyword, then I would want to figure out, I'd be more concerned about the product listing and why have we not converted? After 100 clicks, why have we not converted if this keyword is indeed relevant? What's wrong with the product listing? The thing to keep in mind, if you negate that keyword and just to kind of save you money for the time being, and then you go fix your product listing and you forget that you negated that keyword, then like even if you start adding that keyword trying to go after it, it's never going to get any traffic because you negated it and you might not remember that you negated it. So I never like negating irrelevant keywords, and I don't even negate based off of just hard data. People will just say, if it's less than this conversion rate or above this ACOS, negate, and they just go with it. For me, I use those same thresholds, but to me, those are triggers to review. And I review those keywords, and I don't automate like negations. I only do things manually. And those are good thresholds and triggers for me to just say, this is stuff that needs a QA, and then I'll look into them.
So, so what you are saying is give it some time. If you feel that they are relevant, then that may pay off at the
Yeah,
end of the.
if you can optimize those bids, is what I would say. I would, as long as whenever you're running these calculations, as long as your bids, I've had this scenario where you run the calculation, the bid says you should be bidding like half a penny or you should be bidding 1 penny, and it's less than Amazon's minimum bid, and I'm like, I literally can't even go this low. This is how bad the conversion rate is on this keyword of this product. Then yeah, those ones I'll just kind of like archive. Um, but I mean, these are very, very extreme examples in very abnormal accounts where I see those happen. So yeah, in general though, I think bidding can solve a lot of problems if you get the bids right, because you can use bidding to control your ranking, you can use it to control your profitability, as well as just manage overall investment levels.
So after optimizing and giving it enough time and keywords still not converting, obviously they have to go at some point, right? There
Hmm.
is no coming out of it. What is a good time frame to make that judgment call?
Yeah, as long as you have, I guess. 90 days is usually a pretty good one, but in that case, yeah, if you are looking for stuff that if you're just trying to find those certain thresholds of like this thing's got 1,000 clicks and no sales, in those scenarios, I think longer time frames are better. You're not so concerned with the seasonality as you are like when it comes to trying to calculate keyword bids. You want to be a bit more time conscious of your date range as these trends are ebbing and flowing. But if you're just trying to capture stuff that's irrelevant year round to your product, then yeah, the longer date range you can use, the better.
Yeah. And also, is it a time frame or is it the number of clicks that it will get? Because it may not get enough clicks, but it may spend 10 days for three
Yeah.
clicks.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend using super long time frame. And then in terms of the number of clicks, that would be something that yeah, that would be for you to decide. I like as a helpful kind of starting point. I look at my average clicks to conversion, which is basically just the inverse of conversion rate. So instead of doing orders divided by clicks, we're doing clicks divided by orders. So if you had a 10% conversion rate, that would mean on average it takes 10 clicks to get that conversion. So I would say if anything's underperforming this threshold by 2 or 3 times worse performance, meaning instead of just getting 10 clicks and not converting yet, if it's got to 20 clicks or 30 clicks and it's already pacing to be 2 to 3 times worse than average, those are going to be good indicators for me that we should take a look at this keyword and see if this is something irrelevant. Same applies to search terms too. By the way, if you're digging through your search term reports, you could do all this as well. But yeah, those are going to be good candidates to look at for pausing, archiving, negating, and yeah, 2 to 3x worse is kind of a good starting point.